from Adventure Afrika, and with me we've got Tony Yo. Is that how you pronounce your surname?
Yo, soos in jou.
Soos in jou bakkie gaan nou vas sit.
There's that.
Guys, we're driving the Ford Ranger WildTrak X, and decided to bring Tony along because he's kind of a 4x4 expert and kind of a legend in the Land Rover fraternity, being a ex-camel boykie for the Camel Trophy and Camel Adventure here in South Africa. Tony, what do you think about the WildTrak X?
I'm very impressed. It runs very smoothly. Power flow seems to be fine. Obviously, when you start looking at the ergonomics of the car, the screen, and
it's a bit much for you.
It's a little bit complicating for me. I like the high low range lever that you can hang your spar packet on. You know?
But I mean, you started driving when the dinosaurs were still around, so I mean, this technologically disabled almost.
I'm driving a computer.
Exactly. But 4x4, we didn't really test it hardcore, but we put it a little bit through its paces.
Extremely formidable, very comfortable. Power's there, everything that you need. It's just you got to really get to learn the features and the benefits of how this lot works. Especially this automatic gearbox is a bit weird for me.
And the manual selection system that it's got.
But it's brilliant. I mean, once you've got it selected, everything works.
I mean, you're an old school guy. You like a button. Diff lock, yes. Press the button and it's on.
Absolutely.
This one, you need to go into a screen and press a button on a touch screen to get the diff lock blocked. Yeah. And it's, for me, it's weird. Yeah. I also prefer more analog stuff. The buttons, the kiri, and those type of things. Yeah.
I just found that you're distracted in a sense, because you've got so much information that your concentration is not really where it should be on the road, but you're concentrating on all the pretty buttons and the features and showing you where the power is going, which is great. I mean, they're absolutely great features, and in today's technological world, this is what we need. But you got to really RTF in this car. That manual is going to be head printed into your brain.
Yeah, you really need to ensure before you take this on a proper 4x4 track to understand exactly where all the features are, where all the different sub menus lie, so that you can make sure that when something goes wrong, you know immediately what to do to get it sorted. I mean, this thing has got a pretty decent 4x4 system. I mean, you've got 2 high, 4 high, 4 low, and then a 4 automatic, which kind of decides for you when it needs the right power at the right place.
It's an incredibly clever car.
It is, and the thing is it getting too clever for us?
Well, I suppose in the new dimension of the world that we're growing up in. For us, it's too advanced. But the new generation, that's what they want, and obviously it's going to suit.
Well, I have to say also, when we start looking at the interior, this is very fancy. This is not anymore. It's not just a bakkie. This is becoming a car now.
Absolutely,
it's a car in the inside, but it's a bakkie on the outside with the capabilities of a bakkie. Is that where we're going? Do you think that is what you're going to see, for example, from the next generation 70 or whatever cruiser they want to call it then? Do you think we're going to get all of this, or is there still space for your real old school analog focused four-wheel drives, or do you think everything is going to go this electronic?
Look, there's definitely a marketplace for a vehicle like this with all the fancy stuff and the great features and the benefits. I mean, electronic handbrake, to me, it's just not something that fits into my category of 4x4ing. So I'm hoping that the manufacturer, or some manufacturers, will, yes, realize that, and they'd still keep the farm buck, if you want to use those words, because that's what the guys want. They don't want this type of thing in some of their vehicles. I mean, this is a status symbol in a way, because it is really luxury. It's got everything that you could ever dream of in a motor car. I mean, no BMWs or Mercedes has got more than what this car offers.
Well, here's the interesting thing. You mentioned luxury, you mentioned Mercedes. Do you know what this bucket cost?
Well, yeah.
1,013,000 rand.
That's a hard one to fight. Eh?
It's a one-bar bakkie.
Yeah, I can remember in the old days when Range Rover hit 1 million rand, we all went into a hernia status.
Yeah.
Today's bakkies are all in that region. I mean, obviously some are a little bit more than the others, but if you look at most of the others, even the Japanese ones, they're all very close to that number. Eh?
But is it worth it? Do you think £1 million rand for a bakkie is worth it? I mean, we look at this and, sorry, I drove the XLT a while back, the 2-litre bi-turbo 4x4, and I have to say, in my opinion, it offered me the same, it offered me more value for money. Yes, I know it's got this amazing off-road system inside, and it's got the 4 automatic, and it's got the roller shutter in the back, and it's got the nice new design grille and everything. But one thing that we've been struggling, well, I've been struggling for the last 4 or 5 days, is to get this thing's fuel consumption under 11 litres per 100 k's, which I do not understand, because this is the 2-litre bi-turbo. It's exactly the same motor that we had in the XLT, and the XLT we were managing 8 litres per 100 k's. I'm trying to figure out what happened from the XLT to the WildTrak X, and it's not just me. I've spoken to a couple of journalists saying they couldn't get it under 11 litres per 100 k's.
Which is quite a harsh figure to chew down, especially compared to the XLT. I mean, we've driven it now, even in the automatic mode with manual and things. We're still running on high numbers on the fuel consumption side of things. Yet the car is incredibly comfortable. It's powerful. It's got all the right numbers. It's smooth. Everything works in the car. Obviously, once again, we're going back to the technology of the systems in the car. It's not the easiest thing to just pick up and work with. That's my only issue. But the car's smooth and lovely. It's got lane assist. It's got all the safety features that we'd ever want in a motor car. This car's got it.
Well, Ford reckons this bakkie was built purposefully for the 4x4 and overlanding guy. So this one comes out standard with the 17-inch wheels and 265/70 or 70 General Grabbers 83s. By the way, shout out to General Grabber. They also got a set on my bakkie and I love them. But do you think this is a proper 4x4 orientated bakkie? Would you change something on this still?
No. Well, I'm happy with the fact that they're running 17-inch wheels. I mean, that is a great feature, because then there's other manufacturers that's running 19s and 20s. It just doesn't make sense. Not for our world that we live in and what we're expecting. Number one, you said this is designed around the 4x4 off-road and overlander. You know, I don't know if we're going to start doing deep river crossings and a lot of mud stuff. Would it be a problem? The traction's there, everything works, it's not an issue. The car is incredibly capable off-road, so I don't expect any issues in that sense. I'm just concerned that we've gone just over the top with all electronic scenarios. Going back to it, this electronic handbrake, I mean, it's not going to work in mud.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we discussed that yesterday also, the electronic handbrake, and for me, I still like the proper handbrake, and it's simple things. It is an aid when you're 4x4ing. Yes, this thing has got downhill descent control, but for the love of it, it's now been 2 hours since we've been playing, and we still do not know where the hell it is. So if anyone knows where it is, please let us know in the comments, because we cannot find it. Ford, especially you guys, give me a shout, because I cannot, for the love of it, find the downhill assist control or the hill descent control or whatever they want to call the function, but we can't find it.
Just to comment on that, even without the system operating in first gear low range down that
there was enough compression.
It's incredible.
Even from the, let's face it, it's a small 2-litre diesel engine. Normally you don't get that much compression out of a smaller diesel engine.
Absolutely, yes.
But you reckon it's good?
I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Would you take it to Botswana? Would you take it into Moreni?
No, I wouldn't.
Water crossings,
no,
mud.
I'd be nervous.
Why? What would you change though?
This is the problem. I mean, I don't know the car. I think it's a matter of that, you know, you got to drive it more and more and more. Again, it's just all these features. Again, I go for this electronic scenario. I'm not wild about it. For example, there's the air conditioner on the screen. So you can do this whole air conditioner on the screen. Yet Ford is very, very clever, but to give us the manual buttons. So my options immediately is I go to the manual options.
Yeah.
This is not my favorite section of scenario. Yes, you got the cameras and the steering directions and everything. It's really, really, really awesome. What would I change? I know the wheels are good, the tires are great, the general grabbers are definitely the answer. The motor's got enough power to take you there. I'm sure towing and that, which we'd like to see how that would work on us. But when it comes to Maremi, you know, with the deep water crossings, depending on the season, I don't know why, but I'd be nervous.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, this one doesn't have a. This one is 4x4 ready.
Yes.
I would agree to that, but it's not yet overland ready. You need the snorkel. You need the. I mean, I think the side steps are fine. We did scratch it a little bit and didn't bother them.
No,
we didn't hang in on anything, but it worked. But definitely maybe suspension, give it a little bit of a bit more lift, just to
look, if you're going to go into the accessories side of things, you know, the bull bars and the roof racks and the rooftop tents, suspensions, fuel tanks. And I know that a lot of the guys, aftermarket accessory guys, are working on these type of things. You know, the RBs, and they're working with the Australian market on that. I know they are working, and I think they've developed it. Because this car's also got the radar in the front, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it sits very low. So
it's very low.
It's a specialized bull bar now again.
Well, this is it. So we can't just get everybody to make a bull bar, and you know, in the budget market, if you want to use those words. So they're going to have to go for premium equipment to put on the car, which there could be another 300,000-400,000.
But we also had to look at the hitch in the back. I mean, that toe hitch that they've got on, I mean, it's an easy one to fix. It's one of those slide ones and with a little pin. But there's no way to lift the tow ball.
No.
There's two holes and it's right at the bottom. And it's great if you're towing a Fender or a road caravan. But if you're going to start towing a proper off-road caravan, it's too low. You're going to be driving like this with the trailer.
Absolutely problem.
So you're going to have to swap that out for something that levels the trailer out. But yeah, apart from that, I have to say this bucky is very comfortable to drive.
Incredibly comfortable. It's got, like I say, the ergonomics of the car is nice. The feel is good. You know, all the features, the stitching, all of that's really, really nice.
But there's still plastics here. Well,
that's the way we build cars today.
It looks good. I mean, we've got the switches here.
Awesome feature anyway.
I believe the last two on the right is actually for the lights, and the first four is for like in the rear, and if you want a winch, or if you want a compressor, or if you want camping lights or whatever, it's already sitting here. I believe the last two are actually rated 25 amps, and it's a thicker cable so that you can run your spotlights and stuff like that. The first couple are only rated, I think, 5 amps and 15 amps, and but yeah, it helps. It's a little less wiring you have to do if you want to fit something.
It's a very nice feature to have this pre-fitted.
We'll have a look now in the hood if there's space for a dual battery and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll get rid of the roller shutter. I mean, for me that's a little bit overkill, because with the XLT we've got a big Ostend RV4, so in length you have to pack it diagonally in the back of the bucky. With this, I'm not going to be able to pack my tent in the back. So for me, first thing that's going is this roller shutter. Get a nice decent canopy, drawer system, roof rack, and yeah, then I think I'll take it to Botswana. Yes, water crossings, I'll have to walk most of them.
I'd be nervous about that. That's the only thing. But the rest of it, I tour comfortably with the car. I don't fear the fact that this car cannot do it. Absolutely, I'll definitely go there. It's just the water crossings and
you're worried about the electronics.
Yes.
Because if it goes wrong, it's going to go wrong badly in the water.
But time will tell.
Time will tell. But yeah, okay, let's go and have a look what's under the hood. Okay, so let's try this again. So, built for tough, Tony. What do you think?
Absolutely. As you mentioned earlier, possibility of a battery in this car is
It might fit there, but you reckon?
might be a problem. My biggest issue would be how you're going to manage a bracket in there. So it looks like the battery's going to have to go in the pickup area.
You mentioned something interesting. Manifold is now inside.
Technically, this car is an amazing. I mean, how sexy is this? This is really, everything's always just, to me, a motor is sexy. So technically, they've done amazing things to it, like the manifold, the inlet manifold. Not the conventional manifold like we know it on the side. It's actually built into the cylinder head, and obviously that gives a shorter and less distance for the air to travel, less corners to turn around.
And that's why it can get up to 154 kilowatts,
exactly,
and 500 newton meters of torque.
A great contribution towards that.
And then you said the cam belt is...
This is now something very interesting. We all know, and we've all learned, that rubber and oil don't mix, and we've all known that there's a difference between a cam chain or a timing chain and a cam belt and a timing belt.
Yeah.
However, this new motor, this new 2-litre bi-turbo from Ford, the belt actually runs in an oil bath.
Inside the engine.
Inside. So they've developed a material that compensates and doesn't react towards the oil, and they obviously give it a massive lifespan as well now.
That's very interesting.
So yeah, that's something very different, something we got to get used to in the sense of the way things are going. Very different to as we know it.
The other thing that you said, that this might be a smart alternator.
Yeah, I'm assuming it is a smart alternator, which means that in the event of winching or idling, that's when the alternator won't do any charging. So it needs to be revved up and running for it to be charged. Which if you look at the Cruiser or some of the other cars, they've got little adjusters which can turn up the idling. So it's possibly something the car could have had. Obviously we don't know yet. We'll have to have a look and see. Which I don't imagine, but that would only be in a winching scenario.
And then over here is your fuse box for all those little switches that's in the car. The wiring is already here. I presume this is one of the wiring outlets. Trying to figure out where the other ones are, but yeah, it's already ready to fit lights and what have you.
Yeah, extremely advanced and forward thinking to put the switches inside the car and to add the wiring in, which really is great, because now we don't have to cut into the wiring loom, we don't have to splice anywhere, it's all available to us. This is just amazing, actually. It was serious forward thinking from Ford there.
But yeah, let's jump in.
But a sexy motor she is.
You get your things off of weird stuff now. Sexy motors.
Yeah, look at it, it's sexy.
Okay, let's jump in.
Cool.
Let's take it a little bit through a water crossing and just have some fun with it now.
Lovely.
So in conclusion, we had a look at everything. There's not much space inside for a battery in the engine bay. Had a look at the rear. I like the bumper, the way they've incorporated the tow bar into the bumper, not like the old ones where the bumper was actually hanging below the body and taking away from your departure angle. This one is integrated, although change the tow hitch, because
absolutely,
that thing is dropped too far down and you can't move it up and down.
Very clever system, but yeah, unfortunately, and it doesn't got adjusted holes in it.
No, you can't move it up and down, so you're going to have to change that. The side steps, they're not rock sliders, but I think they're going to be sufficient. If you hit something, they're going to protect the bottom sole of the bucky.
Absolutely.
But you're not going to try and hang it on anything to see how far you can go. All in all, good bucky.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll give it a good rating. Very impressive. Everything just works on the car.
Okay, if I actually put you on the spot, what is the 5 things you like about it?
The comfort of the car.
Okay.
The smoothness is absolutely
but
wonderful.
You can't say comfort and smoothness. That's like saying sexy met mooi boude.
I like both of those. The forward drive system works very, very nice.
Okay.
It's very, very simple. Absolutely no complications in the manner it works. So that's nice. The brakes seem to be a little bit, they're not the brightest around town. They seem to be a little bit not spongy, but they're not the sharpest brakes.
Okay.
Well, as far as the diff locks and the power of the car, the systems, the traction control, the ESC, everything works perfectly. Not to mention it's a pretty looking car.
Okay, 5 things you don't like.
The automatic gear selection. It's a very,
And also the sequential gearbox system, how that works for me. I don't like the little button keys.
yeah, the button is it's really, you know, it's not comfortable. It's not on your hand. You got to really look and find it. I know cup holders is a vitally important thing these days. It's got the worst cup holders I've ever seen on the side of a car.
Yeah, because you need 2 hands to put it in.
Absolutely.
You want 1 hand to slide it in.
Yeah, it's not user friendly at all.
I know you don't like
I
this.
can't knock it as far as the technical side of things are concerned, because it does work, but it's not my favorite when it comes to.
Sorry, you can go straight over all the way.
When it comes to all the features and that, because it distracts from what you're doing. That's only an opinion, of course. My opinion.
If you win the lotto tomorrow, will you buy it?
Yes, I will.